It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. The Titans coaching search has moved forward with second interview requests. Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan, Panthers offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, and Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn reportedly have been contacted to meet in person with the Titans for a second interview. The NFL's divisional round wrapped up last night with the Bills falling at home to the Chiefs 27-24 as Tyler Bass missed a 41-yard field goal wide right that would have forced overtime. That means Kansas City will head to Baltimore to face the Ravens in the AFC Championship next Sunday. In the NFC, the Lions will travel to the 1-seed 49ers Sunday night. It's the Lions' first NFC Championship appearance in over 30 years. Detroit reportedly signed veteran tight end Zach Ertz this morning. Also this morning, a huge commitment for the Tennessee Vols as Brentwood Academy five-star quarterback George McIntyre announced his pledge to Tennessee over Alabama. McIntyre, the top prospect in the state and the number 2 quarterback in the country per the 247 Sports Composite. Tonight, the Nashville Predators host the Florida Panthers at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop set for 7 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Got the sun out. It's above freezing. I finally stopped dripping my faucets today. It had been like 6 days. Did you guys drip your faucets the whole time? I told somebody I did, and that guy acted like I was crazy. I said, look, man, I'd rather pay the water bill than I have a neighbor who their house flooded last year because their pipes all burst. They went on vacation, and everything broke in there.
But was it because of the snow?
Yep, because we had that flash freeze. They're still not full-time in their house again. I said, never again. I'll run every faucet. Yes. I don't know what happened. They had a dehumidifier over there one time. It caught on fire and almost burned their house down. I don't want to lose my house to fire, water, ice. It was like free-flowing faucets everywhere in my house. So far, so good.
Yeah, so far, I did not do that.
Never dripped them.
Oh,
no, my gosh.
Of course not, because, guess what was dripping every time I used it?
Okay.
I used my water a lot.
Oh, man.
I take showers.
You laugh in the face of tornadoes,
and I
faucet dripping.
Dishes.
Yeah, I do.
I wash my hands.
All that stuff happened. I had faucets running for 6 days. Either end of the house.
Like when you say running, what do you mean? How do you, it just drip?
Bip, bip,
You like
bip,
so you like
bip.
get it you like turn it on and then you like get it right there to that sweet spot where it just like
You got to hold your mouth.
Did you do that?
my dad did it for maybe 2 of the nights when it got really like when it was there in the negatives for a couple days, but the rest I don't think he did.
We need a poll question. Did you drip your faucets?
I never did do it. I didn't do it the last time we had a nice little snowstorm. What was that about? I don't know how many years ago, but yeah. I feel like I should be using it enough. I'm always more worried about if my heater's going to go out. See, you guys worry about I worry about the heater because I'm like, dang, did it click on? It's outside. It's part of the environment.
I know.
It's not covered up.
Why is it making that noise?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I know. Had that
Thing is
too.
about to go. That is more something that because then, it's freezing in here, and I'll be walking around my house with a jacket on. We can't go get water, then, just go get some of the melted snow. No, just kidding. I saw the weirdest thing. This, and then I just thought about this. I saw someone take scoops of snow off their car, crazy TikTok, right? And then made it into a drink like this, some chocolate type, thing. Put caramel on it and all this stuff and drank it. I said, are you in? I would never do that. Would
That's
you ever
gross.
do?
That's
Oh,
gross.
it is nasty. They took it off their car with a big coffee cup
Now
and
if you're
scooped
like
the snow off of their car.
if you're like a kid and you're outside and you maybe grab like a handful of snow like a
Right,
young
no,
kid
no,
like
no.
sure fine.
I
but
had
making a
all
drink-
kinds of country relatives who made snow ice cream.
Did you?
When it would snow, they would go out and scoop it up out of the yard and bring it in and put like vanilla and
See,
sugar.
that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
I had never seen that before in my life.
I think I ate one bite of it one time and thought, we're literally just eating stuff that was in the yard. I can't get down with this.
Oh, but was it good?
I didn't think it was good. We had Yarnell's in Arkansas. I was fine to eat the other ice cream from the grocery store. I knew a lot of people who did that.
But we know all of us as kids. I mean, we all ate ice cream at some point in time, whether intentional or unintentional. So it's just like, dang, man, people are now I thought that was a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
snow
oh,
cream says, I am loyalty. Yeah, a lot of people made snow cream.
You know what? I'll buy the snow cream that is made by a company. It's got the snowman on the front.
Yeah.
By Purity, I think, makes it. Out over there in the Walmart ice cream aisle. That's where I'll go.
Watch this segue. See, he actually ate some of the snow. He just doesn't want to admit it. Because that led him to then what?
I got engaged this weekend.
Yes, the snow cream lady.
Casually dropped that.
Yeah, just dropping the bomb, man. Kind of take us through what all happened here, man. Congratulations, man. We did a hand clap. Yeah,
outdoors.
Hey, man, way to push that
outdoor
button
engagement.
Back there.
Yeah.
Your life is over now.
So my
man.
fiance and I have been together for 7 years. Our anniversary was yesterday.
That's pretty cool.
And so she goes back to school. She's finishing her last year of nursing school this semester.
Oh.
And so
You need a job, call my wife. I'll help you out.
So she went back to school yesterday. So we couldn't really hang out for our anniversary then. So we made plans Friday night. So I took her out to this restaurant, a nice little Italian restaurant in Murfreesboro. And while we were there, I had her little sister, her mom, and her neighbors who were really close with set up the backyard. The snow was still on the ground. It was still actually snowing in the air a little bit. So they had these Christmas lights, making a pathway. They had candles and flowers and a fire pit set up for us. So when we got back from dinner, we pulled up and I took her into the backyard and we walked down the path and I asked her to marry me. And she said yes.
Oh man, romantic. So how did you come up with all the idea, or it just kind of came together?
Well, the snow part, I kind of lucked out on that the snow stuck throughout the whole week. And then I kind of had a vision for the rest of the stuff, and I just let them put it together for me, and they did a fantastic job. I'm very thankful for them to set that up for me.
Pretty cool. Congrats, man.
Romantic bananas. Mr. and Mrs.
Hey,
Bananas.
you want to go see all the details? What's your IG account?
Yeah,
That's how I saw it.
yeah.
We're so close, but you never told me.
It's it's _Bonanno_ and the zeros are or the O's are zeros.
Yeah.
So BONANNO. O's are zeros.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs.
So why'd you make the O's zeros?
Just be different.
Wouldn't it be different? Okay, cool. I like it.
Maybe there was another Joseph Bonanno on Insta.
Yeah.
He had to go another route.
He just want to make it different. Creative minds.
SEC 118 said, you stole the proposal scene from the Kurt Warner movie. Is
that true?
Is that the way he and Brenda got it in
I have
Iowa?
not seen the Kurt Warner movie. What's it called? The Underdog?
I don't know.
See, for you to even know the name, I don't know. I'm sorry to question.
It's got the guy who plays Shazam. I can't think of the actor's name.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about that.
But yeah, I actually have not seen that movie yet.
My mom saw it. Told me how good it was.
Was it good?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I never had seen it.
We all lived it around here. We've seen enough Kurt Warner around these parts without celebrating his movie.
I only know one Kurt Warner.
The former Penn State running back.
No. I don't know him. He actually, I played against him my rookie year. He was Seattle Seahawks.
He's a good player that nobody remembers.
Oh, he was a great player.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know his numbers, but boy, in his era, he was one of the best in his era. Yeah, I caught the end of that, but yeah. But there was another Kurt Warner too. I think he played quarterback for the Rams.
Well, yeah, no, I don't
Kurt
want to even say his name. I think that's who they're referencing here in his movie. Yeah. We don't need to talk about Kurt Warner. Although I will say this: first time I ever met him, I passed him in the hallway upstairs in the press box. I couldn't believe how tall he looked to me. He looked really tall to me, Kurt Warner.
The quarterback?
Yeah, tall and lean. He looked tall and lean. Yeah. On TV, it's hard to tell how big anybody is till you see him in person. Mm-hmm. I was surprised. He just looked tall and lean. He had really big hands, long arms. And it's a Hall of Famer, man.
Tyler says that you can't watch that movie as a Titans fan.
I haven't watched it. I agree with Tyler. I'm not going to do it, even though it's 5-star recommendation by my mom. A lot of games this weekend. I don't know if anybody's the next Kurt Warner, but Mahomes his way to another championship. That's 6 in 6 years as a starter.
He's ridiculous.
Dang,
six AFC championships in 6 years.
Yeah, he's getting up there, man. He's getting way up there at the top. I mean, as far as great quarterbacks, man. If he goes on and wins this thing and beat the Ravens in Baltimore, Boy, it's going to get very interesting on where he's perceived at in this pecking order of greats. How many rings does he have already now? 2?
2.
This is going to be pretty unique.
Did you
we
see?
may end up saying he's the best of all time.
How old is he? He's still only 20-something. He's 28, right? I think.
So he's, wow. And now he's getting it done with less. I mean, he has Kelsey, but, it's really fun. I thought the Buffalo Bills would win this game, but when you going into the game, the Chiefs really controlled most of the game. The Bills had some opportunities to win it or, make some bigger plays and just missed, Josh Allen, man, he is phenomenal. Did you see that bazooka that he shot out of the punt machine, out of his arm? I mean, he threw that deep ball. I lost it on the TV. I was like, when is it coming down? And obviously, Stephon Diggs didn't know when it was coming down, too, because it came down and hit him right dead in his hands. He dropped it. So those are the plays they got to make. Missed the, the touchdown pass by Allen. Missed the field goal. There was different things that they missed along the way, man. You just can't against a great player like Mahomes and the Chiefs and Andy Reid and crew, man. They had it right there. They had it. And to be honest, I think they got to start regrouping. Not without him,
right?
With Allen, but they got a lot of free agents I saw after that. So golly, it was right there, man. Dang it. For I thought they was going to get him
at home
did.
In your weather that you love. Every opportunity that I think sometimes we're all victims of like the most recent thing that we've seen. Like, that's the best guy. That's the best game. I try not to be like that. Sometimes, me, I'll lean way back towards, well, back in 73, I lean a little bit old sometimes. But the throw that he made to Diggs that hit him right in the hands, that was in the air for 15 minutes against that wind in that place at that time in that temperature, I don't know if you'll ever see anybody make a better throw than that.
Oh, man, for that far.
There's nobody like him.
Mm-mm.
There's no – and I
not
said,
as far as arm. Yeah.
There's nobody, physically, there's nobody like him.
He's got a bazooka. Yeah, that thing.
He's, what, 6'4"?
No.
6'5"?
He's 6'5".
6'5",
240?
Yeah.
As a quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
that is not
problem.
that is built in a lab.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the one thing he's got to do, though. He got hit so hard so many times. Allen, where he was running the ball.
Oh, he didn't bother him at all.
No,
You thought
I know.
did he ever get up like looking grimacing?
One time he did.
Did he?
One time they got him. He got the high low where a guy hit him low, then another guy hit him and knocked him backwards.
Yeah, they got it. Okay.
He ran to the left, and I was like, oh, and he just for a second you could see him like,
Ooh,
he had to gather himself. One of his friends went and picked him up, one of his teammates, but I thought, man, but then he just went on about his business. That dude, physically, there's nobody like him. And people, Will Levis can make those throws. Hey, man, I know he's got a cannon, but I think Josh Allen, he's number one as far as cannon.
Yeah,
I think that. All due respect to Will Levis, but.
Yeah, no, he's not him. I mean, he's not going to run. His body's not built like that. Will Levis would have got injured if he runs like how Josh Allen does, based off what we've seen in this one season. So he's a smaller version maybe of that, but he's not.
Josh Allen was my ceiling comparison for Will Levis coming out of the draft. Like,
what is Will Levis's height? 6'2"?
I think he's 6'2", 6'3". Let's look.
Yeah, he's not as big. How much does he weigh? 225?
Will Levis is 6'4", 230.
Oh, 230? Wow,
per Google.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, those arms are pretty heavy.
Yo, he looks like he's in the gym now.
Well, then ESPN has – so Google has a list at 6'4", 230. ESPN has a list at 6'3", 229.
Yeah, I'd say he's about 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 225 guy. Yeah. But he potentially, that's a good analogy by both of you guys. Yeah, he's right underneath there. I haven't seen a Josh Allen ever really before.
And think, all of us have been around Will Levis, have been, and we realize that's a big individual playing quarterback. And then think about how much bigger Josh Allen is than him.
Yeah, he's wow. Just to see that he had to always go through Mahomes and crew. And just right now, what is this? How many times that he hasn't got through him?
He's now 0-3 in the playoffs against him, I believe.
Those are the things that eat at great players like Josh Allen all offseason. I mean, it just eats. And they probably all good friends, like him and Mahomes. But boy, he wants to beat him. It's like they brothers. I want to beat you more than anybody.
Did y'all see that comparison between the Manning Brady playoff rivalry and then the Allen Mahomes playoff rivalry? Like everything lined up for yesterday to be like Allen's game to win, and then Mahomes it. Like it was the third. It was the third matchup. Manning beat Brady in the third matchup. It was on January 21st. Yesterday was January 21st. Like it was lined up, and Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't know if Mahomes went down the script of the NFL scripted winners.
Yeah, he went down.
There are people like, man, I don't know about that one, man. That's kind of interesting. Sometimes it sounds right, but sometimes it's not.
Dude, Mahomes had people making plays for him everywhere.
Yeah.
Receiver.
That catch by Marcus Valdez-Scantling down the sideline where he kind of pinned it to his helmet, like, and that was the guy who was
Isaiah
dropping wide
Pacheco
open
like
balls.
his hair was on fire.
Oh, he
Like he always does.
Too,
Yeah. I mean,
knees and elbows just flying everywhere.
that was a great day of football, man. Just the only thing all around people here around here wishes maybe their team will get back into that stuff. All right, let's get into this. Mike Wilson set to join us. Vols have been on one. Dalton Connect has really been on one. Yeah, it's been that kind of season so far. And let's get an update on Vols hoops. Then we'll go back into Titans and snow cream and Kurt Warner and water dripping and all the things that are going on out there. But set up our man by Mike Wilson next. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone.
Oh, that was all your love.
Quick story about this song. When I was in high school, our basketball team was terrible. We were everybody's homecoming.
Oh.
So my friend,
That's cool, though. At least you knew you were special.
we were special. My friend and I had a whole rating system for everybody's homecoming. We rated them. We had a rating system. We had to sit through all of them.
Oh.
And this guy, Keith Gray, they called him the Cowboy. He wound up playing at Arkansas State from this little teeny B school.
Mm-hmm.
The gym was so small, you just sat on the front row of the bleachers with people. Like your team just sat next to people in the bleachers.
Right.
This dude came out to this song, and the girl who was the homecoming queen, it was like a scene from Alien. He stuck his tongue so far down her throat on this kiss in front of her mama and his daddy and the whole town and everybody. That rascal, I'd never seen anything like it. 2 high school kids. He looked like he was 37 years old.
Oh, bye.
Manila High School. This was circa 1985.
Oh, man.
Okay, before we get into some Vols talk, you want to hear a news about Mike Vrabel?
Yeah.
He's talking to the Falcons with an in-person interview.
Oh, let's ask Mike Wilson. What do you think about that? The Knoxville News Sentinel. Were you everybody's homecoming when you played basketball?
No, I didn't play basketball at a high level. I was 5'1" when I entered high school, so I wasn't quite the right size.
Hey,
for
we were
that
the same
sport.
height.
Well, it worked out for one of us.
Well, we must be talking about you, man.
Dude, you're tall now. How tall are you?
Yeah, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Oh, man.
What happened?
I dreamed to be 6 feet.
Me too. What's it like?
It's the things that dreams are made of. Really. I mean, we've seen the
We
top
just set
shelf.
you up right there. You just hit it out the park, man, right there.
You know that shelf that's sometimes above the fridge, like
Yep.
where they put a cupboard up there.
Yep.
Like being able to reach into that, I think, is the pinnacle of human achievement.
Boy, what it would be like to be like Mike. If I could be like Mike.
Oh, man.
Man, if I could be like
Mike
you
Wilson.
or Dalton Connect, I'd be fine, Mike. The whole basketball world seems to be finally finding out about this dude. 2 years at JUCO, 2 years at Northern Colorado, and now he's like the player of the week everywhere for every service that does stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident he's the best basketball player that's ever graced this earth. At least he certainly has played like it for the past 4 games or so. Yeah, I mean, it is an unreal hot streak. I mean, averaging more than 30 points a game in the past 4. He can score the ball the second he touches it, and it's just so rare to see a guy like that. And it's even more rare with what you touched on, which is the JUCO, the Northern Colorado, all the steps along the way to get here. Totally different path to get here than you'd ever expect.
How did that many people miss on this guy for this long?
But didn't he grow like late or something?
Oh, he had the Mike Wilson. He was 5'1" when he started high school.
Yeah, he had a little bit of that to him. He was about 5'6" going into high school. So he was a little bit of a late growth guy, which definitely factored into that. Academics were a part of that, I think. Just needed to go to JUCO to kind of get some things in order, and obviously did. I mean, he's here at Tennessee pursuing a master's, so obviously figured all of those things out. So I think it was just kind of the path that kind of had to happen with him. And then when he left JUCO, it was the COVID era. And there was, you might have heard about this guy, but it's tough scouting a JUCO guy that you haven't got to go see in person. So I know there were a few high major schools. I think Louisville was one of those ones in that mix. Colorado probably in that mix. Like there were schools interested in him, but no one could really bite on it because they hadn't had a chance enough to scout him.
And the formerly 5'1" Mike Wilson joins us now at by Mike Wilson on Twitter, Knoxville News Sentinel. That's where you can read his big writing.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Mike, a couple weeks ago, I said he definitely has to be up for SEC Player of the Year. And I'd love to see now they're talking about Player of the Year of all of college basketball. Who do you think in the SEC is going to be in the competition with him?
I mean, John Broome at Auburn, as good of a big man as there is in the conference. Antonio Reeves is having an awesome season at Kentucky. Wade Taylor at Texas A&M is another guy right there. I mean, the night that Dalton Connect scored 39, Wade Taylor had 41. So, I mean, those are the guys that I think are in that running right now. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say if Dalton averages 32 points a game the rest of the SEC play, he's probably going to win it.
The win SEC Player of the Year or Player of the Year, Naismith Player of the Year?
I mean, if he averages 32 points a game the rest of the year, he's probably winning the National Player of the Year. I mean, that would be a hard thing to top for anybody out there.
Well, Mike, I know this is a way out there type question, But has anybody addressed Coach Barnes and asked him, say, how does he compare to Kevin Durant on his skill sets?
No one's asked him that outright question. I mean, that has been such a buzzword.
Some of the best players he's coached.
Yeah, Kevin Durant's the best player Rick Barnes has coached. Right. Obviously, there were some good ones at Texas there, too. I mean, TJ Ford, LaMarcus Aldridge, guys like that. He did get asked after Georgia if he'd ever seen a player do what Dalton did in the second half at Georgia. Okay. And Rick said, I did coach Kevin Durant, so.
That's the outlier. I mean, he maybe shouldn't be on the radar as far as Connect and everybody else. But, it's just kind of interesting. I saw him play, I think, early in the season. I said, man, this guy's super athletic. He can handle the rock. He can shoot. There's just him getting used to the SEC, and now he's kind of come to fruition. Did you ever think early in the season that he could become what he is right now? And we're talking about the 35 point. Not to say he can do it the whole season or not or anything like that. He's on a hot streak here. But did you ever think he could have gotten to this height of his play in the SEC?
So I'm gonna hurt myself patting myself on the back here.
Oh, okay.
So before the year, every year I have to do bold predictions about Tennessee basketball. And one of the ones I made this year was Dalton Connect would have at least 4 25-point games. He hit that in 17 games. So I thought he was going to be pretty good, I guess. I didn't think he was necessarily going to be this good. And I think part of that has just been Tennessee's kind of whiffed in the transfer portal. So I think there's a little gun shy. You're like, all right, like this guy's got game. You see the numbers he put up. I mean, he averaged like 19 and 8 at Northern Colorado. He hit a metric ton of three-pointers. So you're like, he's got skills. But then you're like, all right, is it going to translate? And the fact he's 6'6", the fact he can handle the ball, the fact he can do a little bit more than just get out in the perimeter and shoot it. He can back down in the post. He can get off the dribble. He can split double teams coming off a ball screen. He's got so much savvy in his offensive game that was hard to know that all was going to be there. So it's, I guess my answer in short form is I thought he was going to be pretty good. I don't think anyone could have said this kid's going to be this good. Yeah,
no doubt about it. We're with Mike Wilson, Knoxville News Center. I guess one more about Adu. He's kind of taking his game to the next level. Man, his improvement and his confidence in his play and being a big man in the SEC. What do you see in Adu that has helped him, I guess, his growth besides getting coached?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about a guy that raises Tennessee's ceiling this season, that's probably it. Just because they don't have a lot of big guys that play a lot on this team, and he's been so good, especially in SEC play. I think you got to go to what Rick Barnes has talked about, which is just trying to get Jonas to believe that he's as good as like the guys he's going against, like where he's faced Zach Edey, Hunter Dickinson, Armando Bacot, Tolu Smith. I mean, he's seen a lot of the best bigs in the country so far this year to varied degrees of success. But Rick Barnes' point has been, you could be as good as them, so go out there and do it. And I think that confidence and belief has led to a lot of that. And he feasted against Alabama the other day, which has kind of become a consistent thing, I think, from Jonas throughout probably the past 10 games. But he's been tremendous, kind of as a Batman Robin with Dalton Connect.
No doubt about it. Mike Wilson with Knoxville News Center.
Now, you talked about the start of the season. It took Dalton Connect, 17 games to get those 4 25-pointers. The guy who did start out of the gate like a wild man was Jordan Gainey, and then he just sort of disappeared for a while, but then he reappeared again at this game against Alabama.
He did, and, so everyone was focused on Dalton Connect's injured foot against North Carolina. Jordan Gainey had a worse ankle injury in that game, but he just didn't say anything and didn't come out. So I think that really lingered for a little bit there. Probably coming out of Christmas, he'd had some time to rest and get that better. But he looked good again the other day. I think he's needed to see some shots go in. Florida, his first one was in and out. Second one looked pretty good, didn't go in. But he got the first one to go the other night, and you kind of saw him other afternoon and kind of saw him get rolling with it. And that's big, just having that extra little bit of offense off the bench, because they haven't had that. I mean, it's been Dalton, Zakai, Jonas Adu, kind of carrying the scoring load, and obviously going and getting 15 out of Jordan Gainey is huge. Don't think you're going to get that every night, but the fact that it's possible is a big thing for Tennessee.
It's interesting because any Vols team with Rick Barnes is going to be a Ken Palm defensive machine, but they're actually in the top 20 for defense and offensive efficiency this year. I mean, they are getting it done on both ends.
They are. And I'm going to go back to my bold predictions again, guys.
Okay.
Pat myself in the back.
Don't hurt your arm. Don't hurt your shoulder.
Your elbow's going to hurt.
Well,
Yeah.
I am standing outside the gym right now, so I'll go in and stretch it out. After.
Okay.
I predicted a top 30 offense for them this year. It just seemed like they had the pieces for it. With Zakai, with Santiago Vescovi back, I expected Josiah Jordan-James to play like he did the first 6 weeks of the season. Like that was something I expected to see coming out of his healthy offseason. Adding Dalton Knecht, adding Jordan Gainey, it just seemed like Tennessee had so many more potential pieces, and obviously they put that together. And the beautiful thing for the Vols is there's kind of a theory that says top 20 in offense and defense in Ken Palm, typically the Final Four teams rank in those categories in the top 20. That's just kind of a statistical trend that's floated around on the Twitter, or the Xverse, I guess it would be now, a good bit. So that might bode well for the Vols if they kind of keep playing at that clip.
We're joined by noted seer of basketball futures, Mike Wilson, by Mike Wilson on X and or Twitter, Knoxville News Sentinel.
Well, Mike, I guess after looking at how well they've done so far, what do you say, or what style of team would be their kryptonite or their weakness of this team right now as they play together?
Yeah, I think when you look at the consistent thread of the teams that have given trouble, it's typically been a team with a dominant big man. I mean, all four of Tennessee's losses, I referenced the big man earlier with Edey, Dickinson, Baycott, and Tolu Smith. Those are the 4 games Tennessee lost. So I think that might be the weakness there, because as awesome as Jonas Aidoo's been, as good of a rebounder as Tobe Awaka is, those guys sometimes get in foul trouble, which was the case at Mississippi State. So that still to me is that one little area that's tough, is the teams with really, really dominant big men. At least that's kind of been the thread, I think, of what we've seen from Tennessee so far this season.
And what was your preseason prediction on how good this team could be? And you still believe that?
Yeah, reaching at least the Elite Eight was in that same bold predictions thing. And for the record, I've whiffed almost every year on all those bold predictions. This is the first year I've had success, so I'm really proud of myself. Typically, I miss entirely. So this feels good. But, yeah, I said at least Elite Eight, and it's still got to be. I mean, anytime a team goes into the season ranked top 10 or fringe top 10, you've got to talk about that team as being an Elite Eight team, because that's what the preseason expectation says they are. Now, when you're sitting at number 5 pretty much week in, week out in late January, you've got to talk about reaching past the second weekend. And, I mean, Dalton Knecht is what raises that possibility for Tennessee. That's a piece they haven't had going into these NCAA tournaments. And you talk about the offense and defense both being ranked highly, that's different too. Because the 2018-2019 team that was phenomenal, they had a great offense, I think number 3 in Ken Palm, but were number 64-ish defensively. So this might be the best marriage of offense-defense that Tennessee's had under Rick Barnes.
And lastly, man, when I'm watching them, and I'm all excited and they're doing really well, but I still feel like James and Vescovi have to continue to figure out how they can have more offensive input in the games. Because I saw James passing up shots, and it was really interesting to me that he had a shot, in his comfort zone, kind of, in the free throw lane area, and he's still looking for a connect to a certain extent. I know he was somewhat hot, but, he started on this little run. But you got to take open shots. So I feel like they're still kind of figuring out. Do you see any of that when you're watching them as well?
Yeah, I thought Santiago Vescovi took strides the other night. I thought he was really good, especially early offensively. I mean, he was aggressive early. He set up the first 3 or 4 buckets that Jonas Aidoo had a good drive pass. I mean, the thing that's hard, and I've likened it in the past, Santiago Vescovi is like a number 2 hitter in baseball who just moves the runner up every time. Your batting average is 0 at the end of the year, but you move the runner up every single time, and your team won because of it. That's kind of the way that his floor spacing, his defense, all of those things he does so well, those help win games just as much as if he's scoring. And on this team, he doesn't have to score as much as he has in the past. Now, you talk about Josiah, he brings rebounding, he brings defensive versatility. I mean, he bought Tennessee 5 minutes in the first half the other night playing the 5 with Jonas Adu and Tobe Awaka in foul trouble. That was a huge sequence in that game. They grew the lead from, I think, 8 to 15 with Josiah playing the 5. So there's things that those guys do that are so important. Now, Josiah was hitting shots early in the year, and I think you'd like to see him get back to that with that three-point shooting he showed early. But at the same time, those guys affect winning so much in so many other ways. I don't think anyone's bothered internally at Tennessee that they're not scoring as much as they could.
Yeah, Mike Wilson.
The man, Mike Wilson. Hey, just on the way out, I know we talked a lot of basketball, but Heupel and the crew have been on one, including picking up a quarterback, George McIntyre, from right around these parts and killing it in the TP and getting a tackle. And I don't know what's in the water up there, but people are drinking it with Heupel.
Tight end.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm told 5-star quarterbacks are good for the future success of a program.
That's what they say. I sense another prediction thing coming on here.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Is that 5-star quarterbacks are good, and when you have 2 of them, it's very good. Yeah, I mean that's massive. I think obviously with getting the 5-star offensive tackle Lance Hurts from LSU, that's as big of a thing as anything Tennessee could go and get this offseason for next season's roster, because that is maybe the biggest weakness on that roster was needing to add tackles, and it's super hard to go into the portal and get a tackle because they're rare. They don't grow on trees, and so going out and getting one is really hard to do. And Tennessee went out and got an awesome one, so that's a huge win for Josh Heupel.
Yeah, 5-star quarterback's good for your health, and as Ice Cube once said, shotgun bullets are bad for your health. So Mike Wilson, he knows all that stuff. Mike, good stuff, man. If you think, tweet or text Blaine and me some lottery numbers because you're on one with predictions, so we want to go ahead and cash out while you're hot here.
Make sure you
know the most important prediction is you guys will have me back on soon.
100% we will. Yeah, man. Hey, enjoy Nashville this weekend because you're going to be here, right?
Yeah, stay safe out there, too.
Always.
Yes, sir. Mike Wilson from 5'1" to 6 foot tall, just like that, just because he wanted to. That's what happened with him. Here's what's going to happen with us. We have people on the line. We'll take phone call 615-737-1045. DJ, Kel, Rodney, they got something they want to talk about. It's the same thing. We'll get back. We'll talk to them about it next. All right, what have we seen in 2024 so far? We've seen crazy weather, right? We saw, depending on where you live, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow. We saw ice on the roads. We've seen it all. Well, how about this? How about you seeing your own hair growing back on your own head? Yeah, you can do that in 2024. If we can get record snowfall around here, well, it's been a while anyway, but a lot of snowfall, guess what? You can get a lot of hair back on your head with PAI, with We Grow Hair, the best in the business. They've been doing this for over 26 years. They're right down the road in Brentwood. You hear me talk about them on the air all the time. And yet, if you're a guy, you're a gal, you're experiencing hair loss, you don't do anything about it. Why wouldn't you do something about it? Well, I don't know if I can afford it. They'll explain how all that works to you. Well, I don't know if it works. Guess what? It works. Look at the PAI billboards all around Middle Tennessee. Those are real people. That's real stuff, right? You're running out of arguments against it. Why not call today, make an appointment? The first appointment's even free. You got no excuses. Call today, make an appointment, come up with a game plan. PAI Medical Group, WeGrowHair.com. Don't wait. Here's the number, 615-376-6010. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. I don't know how we got on this in the first segment. We were talking about the Kurt Warner movie. My mom, by the way, gave it 5 stars on the Connie scale. That's her name. But DJ, Kell, and Rodney both called about this movie. They've been on hold a while. I want to get their thoughts because they want to share them. Rodney and then DJ. Rodney is up first. Hey, Rodney.
Hey, man, what's happening today?
You tell us.
You got it, man.
Hey, listen, y'all brought up Kurt Warner, but before there was Kurt Warner with the K, there was Kurt Warner with the C, and that's who you guys brought up earlier.
Yeah.
We did, the running back.
That played at Penn State.
Yeah.
He was from Pineville, West Virginia, a little coal mining town. And I'm from southern West Virginia myself, and my story is that when my brother was a sophomore or junior, we were playing Pineville, and Kurt Warner was doing what he did, which was run over everybody. And I still laugh about this today, and I'll ask my brother this question every now and then. But I'll never forget my brother squared up on him to tackle him, and Kurt Warner ran right over him. I mean, it was hilarious. He just went smacked him to the ground and kept on trucking, brother. And he did that with everybody, though. And I still, from time to time, will ask my brother, hey, man, you remember that time Kurt Warner ran you over? And he was awesome. We were proud of his accomplishments there in the Mountain State and then going on to Penn State and as a Seattle Seahawk. So I'm glad to see somebody finally bring up Kurt Warner with a C.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. My rookie year I got to play. I think it might have been his last year, but he was man, in this era, he was one of the best. I don't know, did we even look up? I didn't look up his numbers, but he was definitely one of the better backs in the National Football League at the time. Nobody ever mentions him.
3-time Pro Bowler, was one of the news services named him Offensive Player of the Year one year. The same one named him Rookie of the Year, and he had 1,500 rushing yards as a rookie.
Yeah, but what was his final number?
So he ran for he had 1698 attempts for 6844 yards. So he averaged 4 yards a carry. He had 56 touchdowns.
Played 8 years.
Oh, so he had 6,800 yards?
Yep.
Oh, that's why.
He missed a whole year. He missed
tore his ACL?
Yeah, missed his whole second year, and then he was done at 29.
Yeah, because I think he tore his ACL in college. I may be wrong on that, though. That was the second round, but yeah, he was really good.
All right, Kurt Warner with a C and Kurt Warner with a K with DJ as we go through the alphabet here. What's going on, DJ?
What's going on, guys? What's up, Blaine? What's up, Mick?
Yeah, you tell us.
Bishop the Idol. I just give you a little take on the underdog is what I was wanting to talk about because, that was my first season as a season ticket holder with the Titans was that year, the inaugural stadium, Nissan
99.
Stadium, Philadelphia back then.
Yeah.
We beat the Rams in the regular season at home. I don't think we lost a game at home.
No, we didn't lose game.
Yeah, Blaine remembers that. He was right there in the middle.
I was there when we beat them here.
Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah.
Sitting in the stands.
I got something for you, Blaine. So anyway, we go through the season, and I had a coworker of mine, rest in peace, but he was a big Rams fan, and he said, "You're never going to beat this show on turf." He goes, "You just wait." And what the Underdog movie is about, it's about Kurt Warner's life, how he persevered, and how he struggled through everything with the love and dedicating his life to her son. And it's just an incredible,
it was an awesome movie.
It is, and it was like I didn't want to watch it. I was like, I kept denying it. I don't want to watch it because that's the team that beat my damn Titans, you know. And if Blaine doesn't go out was it hammy, Blaine?
No, it was more neck injury.
Isaac Bruce doesn't catch that pass when we win the Super Bowl. We had a great one with Steve. We had a great one with Eddie, and we had the dream team my first year there. Music City Miracle. Then I went up to Indianapolis and sat with Kevin Prefontaine and watched them beat Peyton Manning and the boys when Eddie ran down the field. And then Steve McNair ran down the field against Jacksonville. And I yelled. I was probably about the only Titans fan in the AFC Championship game because my Uncle Glenn took me to it because he was season tickets for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, man.
And I stood up and I yelled. I was like, "There's the dash to Atlanta, baby. That's the dash to Atlanta. And then the next week, I went down, snowstorm, ice, couldn't get into the game, got ripped off for some fake tickets.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
We went to my buddy's house to watch the comeback. Steve McNair shaking off them 2 tackles, throwing it all the way across his body to the field, to the end zone for Mike Jones. The tackle. Kevin Dyson, 1 yard short. And so I never watched The Underdog because I was like, I kept seeing it. I was like, that movie is great because the only person that could have been this and deserved to be this was Kurt Warner. He was a good person. He still is today.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
That's my take, dogs.
DJ, it's a heck of a call, man. Thank you. I appreciate the memory lane that he was sharing. That was fantastic stuff.
Memory lane. Yeah, man. I watched the movie. There were some things I didn't know. I knew a little bit. Everybody talked about how he came from, like the Arena League and, how much that kind of helped him in the process and making quick decisions and everything else. But I didn't know anything about, the backstory of him personally.
Mm-hmm.
And what he persevered through all of that, man, that was pretty remarkable. Because at any point in time, he could have given up. And you would have had a lot of respect for just that. But he kept believing in himself. And somewhere along the way, he couldn't be broken. And he just knew all he needed was that opportunity. And he got it. And I'm just talking about in the league, not the opportunity after, Trent Green getting injured and messing up his knee. But then another break happened. And then all of a sudden, he was ready. And he took them to a whole nother level.
He may be the greatest example of just stay ready. Even if it looks like you're never going to get your chance, he stayed ready. And every time he got his chance, there he was. Made them. He took the Cardinals to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he
was special. Yeah, was Kid Winston the head coach there at the time? I think he was. We had to look that up on the break. I think he was there as the head coach.
Boy, how great was he to overcome that?
It was a big deal because I think it was another quarterback. They were going back and forth, a younger guy. Can't remember who it was. Maybe
was it Hot Tub Leinart?
It was Leinart. Yeah, in the preseason. Yeah, and Kirk kind of covered up some of his flaws. We'll have Bananas look that up over the break. But man, what a heck! So a lot of respect, guy. Sent me, flowers and roses after an injury, to the locker room and everything else. Even here. After the Super Bowl loss. So, man, this guy's a class act. Much respect, man.
Good things happen to good people sometimes.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All right. On your time frame.
Yeah, it was not on anybody in Nashville's time frame. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Latest on all the Titans coaching search and more. We'll do Ding Dong of the Weekend. Hour number 2, we can take phone calls. More Jim Wyatt. Mailbag. Easter eggs. Not 1, but 2.
Oh.
So all you little birdies, stick around. I got 2 eggs for you coming up.
Oh, can't wait. If someone hasn't asked you already, maybe you've asked yourself, what's going to be my resolution for 2024? Well, luckily for you, thanks to the team at Cool Ray Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, I've got some great ideas for how you can take care of yourself and your home better this year. So maybe you want to be better about saving money. Well, consider a $69 tune-up on your home's heating system so you can ensure your HVA system operates at the highest efficiency. If you need a new system this year, Cool Ray's industry-leading warranties save you money in the long run. Or maybe you want to be better about taking care of your health. If you're stocking your fridge and freezer with good food because you're hoping to eat better, don't let the next power outage from a storm spoil that food. You can get a free estimate on a whole home generator from Cool Ray's electrical team. And the generators will also keep any medical equipment or other necessary appliances on 24/7, rain or shine. So find that resolution you can stick to this year and schedule your next visit for any of their services at coolray.com. That's coolray.com.
Life is busy. We could all use some extra time in our day, which is exactly why Two Rivers Ford offers mobile service. We'll bring the service to your driveway at no additional charge. Oil changes, brakes, batteries, the certified technicians at Two Rivers will perform basic maintenance on your vehicle wherever you are, so you'll have more time for moments like this. Schedule your mobile service appointment by scanning the QR code or calling Two Rivers Ford today.
Just rolling through a Monday with the sun shining and the snow melting. It's a magical time around here. I mean, it's supposed to rain the rest of the week, but hey, at least it won't be 8 degrees. Give it to me. Latest on the Titans head coaching search. By the way, if you missed anything earlier from the show, great visit from our man Mike Wilson. Apparently, he predicted everything that the Vols are doing. He's like psychic. But if you missed it, remember, Blaine and Mickey podcast. Always waiting for you. You can hear the show again or catch the show for the first time. Anywhere you get your podcast, rate, review, subscribe. Then you can learn things like the Titans coaching search. I promise Jim White Easter eggs. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Okay. Jim White does like 2 mailbags a week. I've told all you folks out there, you got to read them. And somebody told me, I saw a guy in the grocery store, he's like, I can't read the questions. I said, you're not paying attention. Don't read the questions. Only read the answers. If you see something,
Jimbo.
Jim Wyatt's answers, Jimbo. If the answer looks intriguing, then go back and read the question. You'll save yourself some time. Jimmy White in the weekend mailbag.
What did he say? I didn't read it.
Richard from Franklin, question. What is the timetable for hiring a new coach, and will the decision makers possibly look for a more offensive-minded staff? Jim, potentially in the coming week, and maybe.
Before the week's up?
Well, they do have an in-person interview with Panthers offensive coordinator Thomas Brown and Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan today.
Yeah.
Interviewing Thomas Brown would make them clear the Rooney Rule, and they could make a hire tomorrow if they wanted to.
If they wanted to. Dan Quinn is also reportedly getting a second interview. I did see that before we came on the air. So there's 3 guys. Then he got a question. Sometimes he gets a question in other languages, and he answers them in other languages.
What?
There are a lot of Spanish Titans fans. He gets questions in Spanish.
And he answers it in Spanish?
Yes.
No, that's a...
But if you highlight text, there's a translate that comes up. So I always translate those. Because sometimes it's like, have a great day. You know, enjoy your day or whatever. A question, lengthy question in Spanish. I didn't even translate the whole question. Jim's response. It's good to hear from you, Enrique. It seems that you are a great fan. I haven't heard Bill Belichick's name linked to the Titans. I've heard the names of 10 others in the mix. Hopefully, we will have a new coach next week. This is from the mailbag this weekend. That's twice he said in the mailbag, essentially, this week.
And just a reminder, the last Easter egg we got, there could be more candidates that we don't know about. David Shaw popped up.
How
Well,
many
he
hours
said
later?
surprise candidates. That's
Yeah.
That's what he said. Surprise.
So I'm telling you.
Yeah, you're right though. Yeah. he
So
gave
hey,
us-
man,
So this before the week's up is what you thinking? Well, by Thursday? Because when is the Senior Bowl?
Senior Bowl's next week, I think, or in 2 weeks, something like that. It's either next week or in 2 weeks.
Ooh, I don't know.
What's
I've
today?
been seeing Jim Nagy, like,
If
I
I'm the
think it's like
Titans-
coming up. Practice is coming, or they got a report maybe next week.
I think you have to have your guy before the end of this week, just because of the Senior Bowl and starting that process. I think you need him in the building.
But why?
You got to start I mean, is the head coach not a part of the recruiting or not the drafting process and evaluating talent from the Senior Bowl, which is kind of the first step towards the draft? Don't you want that guy in the building to be able to, like, if they wait till next week or wait right up to the Senior Bowl, you think they could get behind the 8 ball with their head coach?
Yeah, well, I look at it. I view it differently in that. No, and I agree with your premise of that they could hire by the end of the week. Yes, and they should. But I don't agree with why you think they should. The coach, you want the coach hired only because you want him to start hiring his coaches. So that's a good platform for the Senior Bowl. That's where you start. Now, as far as evaluating the scheme, that is what the GM's job is. And so what you want to know is what his scheme is and what type of players fit that scheme. And then maybe your coach along the way has input, but your job is actually to do all the scouting and reporting. They're putting their schemes and system. I think the league is leaning more towards the coach not having as much input, but having just a say-so and an opinion about the players that they're drafting than saying, this is the guy I want. Now, the job of the GM is to say, this is what we scouted, this is what we like. Do you like this player in your scheme and system? And he may say no, the head coach, and he may say, but I like the other one better. And that's, to me, what you need in place. Not necessarily because he's now trying to implement his scheme. Remember now, he's the CEO. He's got to hire all his coaches. Got to make sure everybody's on the same accord and pay, because he may get some guys from different places and have different backgrounds, and they're going to have different opinions about how they go about, installing the offense or the defense. So I think it's more about that and hiring your staff and getting on the same page than more so about you being part of the selection process. I think it starts there, but it does finish with, once you start scouting players.
Well, and they are
then the GM doesn't have a job.
Yeah. Well, they are fortunate to have the GM and his whole staff in place. Yeah,
already hired.
They
Right,
already.
that's big. That's why I say it's not a sense of urgency to hire a head coach, because you actually, but the only urgency is to make sure you get to match up the players with the actual, coach and their schemes and systems, which, is still a little bit away, but you want to hear their opinion while you're doing that evaluation for sure.
And with Brian Callahan, who they're bringing in today, he has a second interview scheduled with the Panthers and the Falcons tomorrow, or with the Panthers tomorrow and then the Falcons after that.
Yeah.
So he's prime candidate. So Titans have him first. If he's your guy, I don't know if you let him leave the building. If the Titans,
I don't operate like that. Just my whole natural instincts. Nobody's going to pressure me into feeling like I have to rush my decision. If my decision is when he comes there, this is our guy, we just want to finalize a few things, then you pull the trigger. But you don't ever rush into your decision because he's going on another interview. If you feel the same way, he feels the same way, he won't take that other job. And if they offered him, he'll come back to you and say, this is what they offered. I want to be here. Will you take me? See, that's how you should be feeling about your guy. It should be a mutual respect there. That this is the best fit for me.
That dude says it.
Uh-huh.
Like, hey, I got other places to go, but I'm just going to tell you this is a job I want.
Right, yeah. That's what he should be saying.
So do we think that the Titans are down to their final list with these three?
Based off of what
interviews?
Jimbo said right there.
If you got
It
the
sounds
Easter
like
basket, you're dumping the eggs out.
So Callahan, Brown, and Quinn. Those are the three second interviews that the Titans requested.
And
When is Quinn's?
Thursday, I think. It's later this week.
Right. Now remember, I'm just based off what Jimbo said in the mailbag, like by the end of the week.
Yeah.
You could also be interviewing some of these guys to be coordinators. Don't
They've
forget
done
that now.
They've done that before.
Yep. Could be Courtney. Now, I know that's a lateral move for Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if he could do that or not. But I think they escalated his salary this past season before they went into it. So he'd have to be like head coach or assistant head coach. Or something
Yeah, associate head coach, whatever you wanted to call him. Yeah.
So Quinn is on Wednesday. Then he's got a visit with Seattle on Thursday. So they have Callahan and Thomas Brown today on Monday. And then Wednesday is their next one with Dan Quinn. And those are the three that they've scheduled.
And Thomas Brown is Shanahanian in his backstory. And so is Callahan is Shanahanian in his backstory. So if you wanted to say Callahan is head coaching or call his plays, Brown, like you were saying, that they're the same pieces of the same puzzle, of the Shanahan puzzle.
Because that's what they're asking in the interviews. Who are you connected to? Who are you hiring on? Lisa's your OC and DC's, and where was your background? What is your style of play? So all these things, as well as, what will you do to enhance Will Levis, and what can we do to help you there based off what you know about the Tennessee Titans and their team and how they're structured as of today. That's another reason why you want them there too, right? Yeah.
So Mickey and I were talking about this before the show, how Callahan is more of your QB guy and Thomas Brown's more of your he I think he worked with running backs. I think that's where his background is. So
he's worked with running backs, tight ends,
Yeah.
as well as he's been an OC.
there's just a question on where do you think the Titans are gonna go? If they're gonna look more towards their let's get a QB guy for Will Levis, or is it we like the scheme of Thomas Brown and what he's gonna bring to the total offense, and then let the QB coach or the offensive coordinator, whoever he hires, be the guy that really works with Will Levis.
Whatever he's going to do, I love that he worked with tight ends. If he gets hired, because that's everybody. You're connected to everything that way.
And then also, don't forget now, there's guys that were on the staff that maybe you want to keep and do. Are they interested in any of these guys?
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
See, I don't know who's connected to who and who is willing to say, hey, I'd love to work with them and, continue on my career here. I don't know. Or maybe they don't want anybody from the staff. I have no idea. So, yeah, hey, man, looks like they're putting some pieces together. But, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we could talk about all we want to about all these different guys and their stats and what their specialists said. At the end of the day, all I care about is you win. That's all the fans care about is winning. You can do all this you want to. But, hey, we dance around it all. That's why I always talk about preseason, all the offseason player of the year and all that. That don't matter. That don't matter nothing. When we turn on the lights, we click the ear pad on, boom, the chin strap. Who's the baller? This is it. And then we win. You can talk all that, he did a great job. He showed up for everything. Yeah. Woohoo. And that dude can't play.
And then, one of those guys doesn't make the team, and the other one's on the practice squad,
Yeah.
and the other one's like the fourth
Okie doke.
safety. Yeah. But he got a good parking place.
Uh-huh.
All right. So there's a reported second interview with Callahan, Thomas Brown, Dan Quinn. Curious to get your thoughts. You happy with those guys? Is there one of those guys that you want the most? If we gave you $1,000 of bananas money and you had to bet on one of those guys, who are you picking to get the job? You got to bet your money. Who are you picking? 615-737-1045. We know who's getting a second interview with the Titans. Again, love to get your thoughts on Blaine and Mickey. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Just had a little piece of heaven dropped off here in the studio. Cookie Co. Cookie Co. Like company, short for company, C-O. And they brought in a box of gigantic cookies. Now, you watch. We're in a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching on Zone TV, by the way, shout out to everybody on Zone TV. You're just going to see all these people from other stations probably try to come in here and start stealing these things. Just watch for the traffic.
They already got some of that chocolate chip one, man. I was a little disappointed I didn't get a whole chocolate chip with it. But they big, you know, so you had to cut them in 4s, but I only got 1/3 of it.
I can see it from here.
Oh, yeah, you can see it from the studio. Yeah, you want to make sure we'll save you one.
I'll come there next break. I'll come grab one.
Got you. Yeah, man, we got to get some of it. Right there in Cool Springs, right?
That is right. Right in the heart of Cool Springs. 330 Mayfield Drive is what they show. And the box I'm reading says real eggs, real butter, real sugar. Now, I'm a hard stuff guy. If you're going to make the cookies, put the real stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boy, he got you on that pumpkin one too, man.
Yeah, he was describing that. I'm all
real
about
pumpkins.
Yeah. He said it's
that's
seasonal.
that artificial.
That about broke my heart. But he goes, that's just an example. Like our pumpkin cookies are orange in color because it actually has pumpkin in it. I'm real cool with that. They're all over socials, so check them out. Cookie Co. Cool Springs, Tennessee. All you Cool Springsers have to get down there and have some cookies.
I also do some little catering too there. I'll ask for Nicholas.
Nicholas is the guy. Yeah. Nicky and Mickey. We just met each other. Nick and Mick. And we go way back to just now.
Yeah, we'll put something on our IG account or something.
Yep.
Twitter. Yeah.
Keep an eye out. We got to get a picture of these cookies too, Bananas. We'll post a picture of Nicholas and us, and we got to also put a picture of these cookies. We'll take a picture of those so you can see what you're missing out there. All right, we don't know what the Titans are missing at coach, but they've got 3 reported second candidates. So here's big picture, and we'll get to ding dong of the week coming up. Here's where we are, big picture. The Titans have interviewed 9 now of a reported 10 candidates because Antonio Pierce got hired by the Las Vegas Raiders. That moved him from 11 to 10. Okay. So Ben Johnson of the Lions had all these interviews scheduled.
He's fast, too.
Yes, and he only didn't do one. He did not interview with the Titans.
He had, 3, was it yesterday? And they had a game. He did, 2 before the game, and I think the Falcons.
He did the
after
Falcons interview after the game on Zoom because you had to talk to them then to be able to talk to them again,
if they continue to play.
If they continue to play.
As Bananas told us last week.
Yep. So Ben Johnson was like, sorry, Titans, ran out of time. So it looks like I know people had their heart set on Ben Johnson, a lot of them, because they like what they've seen from the Lions, who are on TV right now as we're talking about them.
Every time I watch the Lions, I get perturbed.
Is he the number one? Is he the number one coaching candidate in this cycle?
Ben Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's not why I'm perturbed, though. See, I'm on a different level. 2 dudes on this team start that the Titans had, and they don't look like how they did with the Titans. They look really good.
Josh Reynolds?
Yep. And who's the other dude? A guy that didn't even hardly play. And I said, this dude is a proven player in this league, and I can't believe he's not playing, especially with the way our secondary is playing.
I heard you guys
cornerback, Vildor.
Yeah, I heard you
he's
guys talking
starting
about it.
for them.
Sounds like a villain. Vildor.
I said, I watched this guy. This guy's really good. That was game he didn't even dress. Then they eventually got him. They picked him up in the middle of the season. Starting. I'm watching right now. They're replaying the game. I was like, well, how is that? He's starting on a playoff team, but on our team, he couldn't even dress. Like, I don't know. Something's fishy about that.
Remember, they told Josh Reynolds just leave then. He left in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that was they said NWI was better than him, basically. And he was like, excuse me?
Did you see the Lions put 4 safeties out there on one of their plays? They had 4 safeties out there.
Well,
And
you
they
count
were
Branch
balling.
as a safety. I mean, he's kind of this nickel corner safety guy from Alabama that's kind of universal.
Branch.
Yeah, Branch. He's a really good player. So, but yeah. But that's what I'm talking about. You can't let players get away and then they go start on other teams. But they couldn't play here? We were that good in the secondary? We were that good at receiver?
They just
it don't
let
add up. It just don't add up.
And Josh Reynolds did just like Vildor. He left in the season.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were just flush with talent at wide receiver. Okay, go. And they gave him a little bit of money that year.
I'm just like, man.
Bye.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's when you start saying, you like them? And then these guys are good dudes. Not cause any problems, no nothing, no off field. Sit there and do their job. They couldn't do it. They couldn't square up with the Titans. They
Olivia.
sure look good on that. And let alone, let's talk about Mickey's guy, Khalif Raymond, who's
Tiny
injured
Khalif.
now.
Yeah,
he
that's-
played for them too. And he was a speed demi. I know a lot of people, he dropped that ball. It was in the playoffs. Was it playoffs or was it regular season? Yeah, but he caught a whole bunch of them.
And they use him. He's not just a gadget guy when they have max protect and
return
run one
punch.
deep route. They use him for all kinds of stuff. He's just hurt right now.
Yeah. Boy, he was fast.
Tiny Khalif. And I'll ask you, like, okay, who remained that was as fast as Tiny Khalif?
Nobody.
Man, we don't need fast people. Speed kills.
He was fast now. Hey,
Like,
I
he was running.
I would have to take a step back. He was on another level. He had to shift gear, man, down. He could go, man.
If you watch them too, he was running routes for them, not just go routes or not just clearing things out, or like against the Ravens, where he's the only guy. They run a 1-man or 2-man route on a max protect. He runs routes for them,
It was just,
and he's
I
a
get
reliable
irritated.
punt returner.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's not Billy White shoes or,
Oh no,
but he's a reliable punt returner.
which we can't find. But look, trust me, I love me some Phillips, but boy, that would have took me to the. I'm gonna still give him one more chance. But he was consistent. Khalif Raymond was good. Yeah, they were solid NFL players, and those two of those guys we mentioned, Veldor and Reynolds. These guys started in this league and are good players as starters in this league. Not to say they're Pro Bowl or anything like that, but you know what a starter. They just know. Vildor, Fulton, good, solid starters in the National Football League.
Blue Flame Meditation in the F&M Bank chat says Anthony Ferkser's on that team too. He was out there at the end for the Lions.
I forgot. And then, guess what? Stinny was starting guard from Tampa Bay.
Oh,
yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney has torn it up with the Ravens.
He just looks like a totally different player. And I don't know, that may be
How do you
Smith.
explain that?
I don't. Coaching? Like, how does a player go to – he can't play for you, or in Clowney's case, doesn't produce for you. Part's player. The other part is if you're not getting the opportunity, then something y'all didn't see. It is something you didn't see. These dudes are on other teams starting. I don't know what was going on, man.
Tennessee Tim says Vrabel is the reason for all that in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's his addition to that.
Yeah. The Veldor, that one there, I'm paying attention to all DBs across the NFL. I'm like, hey, man, this dude, he is a solid player. He can play. We just got average dudes on our team. Boy, he's good. Nope, don't dress. Huh?
We sat down today, and before the music played, you said, how about Vildor out there? Guy who'd started a lot of games in the NFL and couldn't get dressed here, couldn't dress out. And here he is starting in the playoffs for the Lions. And it's not like the Titans are just flush with cornerbacks. Like, we just had too many. We're just so well at that position.
Right. We just overloaded.
We never couldn't
find a spot for
No,
him.
is this just a bunch of never injured all pros here? So we didn't need Vildor.
Man, I just like, dang it. I had to start second-guessing myself. Dang, maybe I missed him on Veldor. Maybe something's wrong. Oh, no, not to Detroit. Aaron Glenn, DC. He was a Pro Bowl cornerback. I think he would know what they look like. Pro Bowler, 3-time Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I may be wrong on that. Maybe less or more, but yeah, I was just like, man.
No, I think that sounds
know.
right.
I don't know, man. Something is fishy here. I wonder if because he didn't pick him.
Connor adds in the chat, basically just adding to Titans fans' misery. David Long lit it up too.
Oh man,
David
don't get
Long
me going
thing,
on that.
The David Long thing to let him walk I know they signed Azeez Al-Shire, and he had a nice year and had 1 million tackles. I get it. Okay, imagine if you had David Long and Azeez Al-Shire.
You could have had them both.
Yeah.
And then, no offense to Jack Gibbons, but you could have put Jack Gibbons as a backup where he would have flourished. I mean, he's a smart player, but physically, he's a step slower than a lot of these guys. You could have had 2 really good inside linebackers.
David Long, another guy who
Spaces.
last time I checked, I think he played every game this year too.
Oh, yeah, he played
the
every game.
serial offender, repeat offender.
Yeah. So, sometimes that works and sometimes not. I mean, you can't reference him. I mean, this guy was trying to play through an injury. He missed 4 games. I mean, he didn't miss any game. I wonder if that had something to do with the strength and conditioning. I don't know. Maybe it did. Now, that'd be interesting, too, when a new coach comes in.
What happens
the training
with all
staff
that?
and the strength and conditioning and all that.
You think
3 years.
You think that's a pitch they have to make to Amy and Duran? Just how much of it's been an issue with the Titans is just injuries. Like, hey, I have a plan for the strength and conditioning staff.
I mean, I think you'd have to say I have a plan for everything. As part of your interview is, here's my plan for like what kind of coffee I want served. I mean, you have a plan for everything. You're a control freak, or you don't.
You won't have success in it.
You come in with, here's my notebook. Here's who's my OC, my DC. If they don't take it, here's my number 2, my number 3. Here's who's going to run my strength and conditioning. Here's all their phone numbers. You know, you can call them and ask them about me.
Yeah, I'm for all of that change. Kind of somewhat like coaching, you know, you want to bring in your guys. That's why I said I'd be interested to see how many layover coaches stay, because they're kind of, you know, they're sitting in limbo. They probably can go interview for other jobs, but, you know, they're still in the contract, unless your contract was up. Like Moore, a receivers coach, quality receivers coach, right? Do they decide, we'll keep him? We know he's good. Or they say, nah, I already got my buddy, he coached wide receivers. That's all he can do. We got to leave him there. We can't keep Moore.
You know what this discussion highlights to me in a lot of ways, and I know he had like quality control, those kind of positions, was the fact that Arthur Smith outlasted like multiple
all those coaches,
coaching change. He went through like 5 administrations and was the only guy standing through all of it. Arthur Smith, when he was here.
That was crazy. That's insane.
Because he went back to, did he go back to Fisher? Or did he go back to?
Oh, no.
He went back to whoever was after Fisher.
He was
at Munchak, maybe?
He was 10 years, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Munchak, Wisenhunt, and
Malarkey
and Vrabel.
I don't know if people know how impossible that is.
That's right.
Everybody's got a bunch of friends that want a job.
And he kept kind of elevating
every time and they wouldn't push him back down the ladder. He'd take another rung up the ladder.
2011 is when he became a defensive quality control coach for the Titans. And then 2012, he moved to the offense, and then he stayed with the offense until he left.
Oh, Arthur Smith, man. Drayden says in the F&M Bank chat, Vrabel's treatment of Reynolds and Raymond screwed our chances of interviewing Ben Johnson. All he had to do was ask them how Tennessee was, of course. And that would make him think the Titans are run, well, poorly is what he said, bad.
Oh, man. It's about as bad as you know what. Those cookies were good, too, man. I'm still thinking about that chocolate chip. I want to get some more.
You can have some more. All right. Who is your guy of these 3 guys? Callahan, Thomas Brown, Dan Quinn. Those are the 3 reported second interviews. As we said to start this segment, there's an Easter egg, too, actually, in the Jim Wyatt mailbag for this weekend. He mentioned twice, once with a question from Richard from Franklin, potentially in the coming week, as far as the Titans head coach being hired, and also from Enrique, who had sent a question in Spanish, and he answered in Spanish, but I Google translated it. Hopefully we will have a new coach next week. This was from Saturday, meaning this week. So of those 3 guys, Callahan was the first guy, I think, that it was said he would get an interview, if I'm not mistaken, and the first guy that it was said he would get a second interview.
Yeah, Justin Mello, I think immediately the day, was it the day after Vrabel got fired? Justin
Said
Mello
expect
came
him to
out
get
and
an
said
interview.
Callahan,
Yep.
and then he was the first person last week to get it, or at least be reported to have a second interview.
Hey, man, you guys' guess as good as mine, man. I'm a see, feel, touch guy when it comes to these coaches. We're not in the interview process, so whatever their history is, who they're touched with as far as their coaching tree and all that, it's really hard because you're trying to connect the dots, and sometimes you can get that wrong. So, do you have that kind of conversation with them one-on-one, and you feel what's right when you're asking them these different questions? I think sometimes you can get it wrong. I just hope they come in and have new ideas, fresh ideas in the modern era of football, and do a great job and win. So whatever they decide, I'm on board. I'm a support and critique them just like I did any other coach. I have no idea who these guys are going to be good or not.
You got to trust them till you can't.
Yep, that's it. That's how it works. I mean, we can say, oh, these guys are touched with McVay or Shanahan. Well, what if people all of a sudden start figuring out how to stop those offenses? Then what? I don't know. I guess you just keep going the road. Eventually, defenses catch up. It all goes back to personnel. Got the right personnel.
Yeah, Jimmy's and Joe's.
So I don't know.
X's and O's help. But,
Yeah.
boy, you need the Jimmys and Joes who can execute it. I mean, watch the Chiefs yesterday. Look how hard Pacheco ran. I mean, they schemed up some great stuff. They caught the passes. Guys were in the right spots to make the right plays. As we talked about off the top, they only ran 40-something plays. If this is correct, I was watching the post-game show, and whoever it was in that room full of people said the Chiefs had 8 explosive plays. The Bills had none.
Because you can look at the numbers by Josh Allen. What is his numbers in this game? I think it was whatever. He threw like 39 times, but he only had, I think, 180-something yards, which is weird. Like, you threw 39 times, you only had, is that right?
Yeah, he only hit 186 yards.
How many times did he throw the ball?
He threw the ball. Give me 1 second. It's loading.
A lot.
Just think if they get just think if
Diggs catch that ball.
that's another like 50.
Oh,
It just closes his hands.
man, explosive plays will just doom you. I mean,
Like you said, he it's like he tried to corral the ball.
Yeah.
26 for 39, 186
times.
yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, see that doesn't, those numbers don't say we're gonna win. That team won, unless their defense played exceptional.
Imagine being a Bills fan, because if somebody told you 5 years
they
ago,
are
hey, man, you
broken.
can have Josh Allen as your quarterback, you'd say, I'll take this 100 out of 100 times. We hit the jackpot, and they can't get over the hump because they always have to play the Chiefs. Chiefs are their kryptonite.
Here we go. Yards per play in yesterday's game, the Chiefs 7.7, the Bills 4.7. And they had almost the identical amount of total yards. The Chiefs had 7 yards less than the Bills total.
Let's take this phone call right quick. We'll come back with Ding Dong of the Week. This says Jason. Is that right? Jason. Is it Jason?
Yes, Jason.
All right. There's an I in here. Our man Banana's got exotic with the spelling. What's up?
Hey, guys, I was just going to say, did y'all see Aziz over at the Niners game, trying to hype up all the Niners players? I really think he misses being over there, but the money wasn't right, man. I really hope he stays at the Titans and does a really good job for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw him with their little pregame ritual
In the
that
huddle,
they do.
little pregame linebacker ritual. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And I want to say something else about Jared Goff. Nobody's really talking about him, man. They're talking about the Lions as a whole, but Jared Goff, he took the Rams to the Super Bowl and lost to Brady, but he's back there real close again. So don't count on Jared Goff.
Sure is.
Yeah, well, McVay said he wasn't smart enough. It couldn't make adjustments. Dude went to Cal Berkeley. What? That's what he said. That's why they traded him.
He looks pretty good to me.
He adjusted pretty well.
Yeah.
That's why his coach has got so many interviews, he can't do them all. He has his offensive coach because he's got him balling out. Hey, man, this throw to Reynolds, it was screen. I mean, that was executed. He's running alone in the back of the end zone.
The throw he had to ice it, where he put it right there in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Who was that to? What number you remember? I don't remember.
It was one of their like secondary third string guys.
Oh, receivers.
I will say this. They had guys stepping up all over the place, though. The Lions did. I mean, you're looking at like their roster to figure out who some of these guys are that made plays for them. And that goes back to Jimmy's and Joe's.
Yeah, but I want to I think Dan Campbell emboldens them and empowers them to play freely and not scared to make a mistake. If not, you're going to get yanked out of the game. That is totally different. And then you play with confidence. You play as, oh, dang, I don't fear anything that I can't accomplish.
I was wrong. He was to Amon-Ra St. Brown. The one I'm thinking of was, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So I think that's why, and that's why they look how they look. Reynolds is just a good player, starter. St. Brown, I mean, he led the league in reception, I think, or yardage, one of the two, maybe in receptions. But he, talent-wise, he's just a really good player. He just came out into his zone, though, this year to another level. He's very motivated, as he knows every receiver that was taken before him. He wrote it down on a piece of paper. That's just the guys you want right there. So, yeah, I mean, you got Gibbs, a bolt of lightning with Montgomery, power. So they know how to manage bolt of lightning with power. Then they got a whole bunch of, they got some diamond in the rough and just football players. I remember people laughed when they drafted some of these guys. Like, you don't need Gibbs. He said, but he could play.
Their first 3 picks were a running back, an inside linebacker, and a tight end.
Right. That was the dude I liked. He went to, Campbell?
Gibbs, Jack Campbell, and Sam Laporta.
Iowa. He was from Iowa or somewhere like that. I can't remember.
Iowa.
Yeah.
They drafted 2 guys from Iowa in the first 3 picks.
Hey, man, you got to go watch this dude. This dude can flat out play. Yep. He says, I get dudes I know can play.
Yep.
Whether we need it or not. And I was like, that sounds like a dude who used to play.
That's like coaches, though, in college who recruit guys to their system and not stars.
Yeah.
And I know you need stars to win big, but still you need guys to play their spot. All right, we got to play our spot. Ding Dong of the Week coming up next here on Blaine and Mickey. All right, I've been watching the NFL playoffs from the sidelines, just like all the rest of you. Listen, there's still time to get in the game with FanDuel. That's America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. New customers bet on this Sunday's conference championship games with $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's the way it works. FanDuel, they got so many ways for you to pick up a dub. Like maybe you like Mahomes to keep it rolling. It's hard to bet against him, right? Or maybe just these Cinderella Lions, they've got your attention. They've got mine. FanDuel. You can follow my bets or you can make your own. Just go to FanDuel.com right now. Get started with $150 in bonus bets. That's guaranteed again when you place your first $5 bet. You just visit FanDuel.com/Mickey and you can join today. That's FanDuel.com/Mickey. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Do you have to be 21 or older, present in Tennessee? First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Ring a ding ding dong. Time for Ding Dong of the Week, brought to you by the man, Mark Spain. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing. You want to share a ding dong, do it in the F&M Bank chat, on Twitter at Blaine and Mickey, or, of course, on the phone, 615-737-1045. Bananas is picking up the call from our man Eric here, and then we'll get into the ding dongery. Bananas, what do you got, man? You'll lead us off.
Yeah, I'm doing the Bills.
All right, you can have it. You go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Well, my ding dong, I thought it was a fireable offense at the time. Sean McDermott, who was on the staff with the Eagles there, as I mentioned before, when I was with the Eagles.
Holy cow! Everybody became the head coach on that staff.
Yeah, he was assistant linebacker coach. Ron Rivera was the actual linebackers coach, and he's up for the DC job now with the Eagles, so he's gonna take a second stint with them. And that's what they're talking about. But yeah, on the going forward on fourth down, there was a risky proposition. What quarter was that in? It was kind of early, was it? Was it second quarter? They were like on the 30.
No, I believe that was in the second half.
It was second half? Was it? Oh, wait.
Bananas is looking.
Whenever they went forward on fourth down.
It was in the fourth quarter with 12:55.
Yeah, it was early, though. Okay, yeah.
They were on the 30-yard line, their own 30-yard line, and it was 4th and 5.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, they went forward on fourth down. I was like, what is he doing? And then it made it short field. Lucky for them, I said, hey, man, they lose this game by 7 or less, and they score on this drive, the Chiefs, because they don't have far to go. They are already in field goal range. I said, man, it's going to be tough. He's going to have to answer some serious questions on this one.
And they ran to the one on the next play.
Yeah.
On the first play after the Chiefs got the ball.
And I was like, uh-oh, Pachenko.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh. Then Hardeman, and I like, oh, he fumbled. And I said to my wife, that just saved him from getting fired. That's right. Because I was like, he should not have done that. No way. I don't know what analytics said, but in that play, the common sense football, you can't do that one. Sorry, man. I don't care if they had blocked enough or not, and they had too many people. I don't care. You do not. You kick that thing, and you make the Chiefs earn it the whole way. So that was my ding-a-dong.
All right, BANANAS.
So I was going to do Jordan Love, but I just thought of another one. Since we didn't get to talk about it a ton last week, I'm going to go with the SEC and Nate Oates and the non-punishment that they gave Nate Oates for pushing another player.
I mean, he got a
reprimand.
reprimand.
He got a public reprimand. That's it. He put his hands on another player from an opposing team. He pushed him. It's not like he was like, congratulations, patting him on the back. No, he pushed him away, and all he got was a public reprimand. You can't do that. The SEC, that's a terrible. What are you doing? Fine him, suspend him, do something, because that is a terrible punishment for that kind of offense.
Well, Tennessee punished him plenty on Saturday.
Yes, they did. Rick Barnes put him in his place.
He did. Eric checking in with the ding dong. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys. One of the things I love when fans support their teams. In fact, I'm pulling for the Lions to get to win the Super Bowl. I would love to see it for their city, make them happy and everything. But the thing I don't love is when fans rush the field and fans storm the court. Here's why. You know where I'm going. Yesterday, Ohio State was playing Iowa women's basketball program. They beat them in overtime, 100-92. Iowa was ranked, I think, either second or third in the country. But in so doing so, one of the fans got so exuberant, they plowed over Caitlin Clark. She got the wind knocked out of her. Luckily, she's okay. The fan profusely apologized. But, guys, it could have turned out to be more disastrous. I've never been a fan of that. In fact, I'm 60 years old. I'm old enough to remember when the Indiana Hoosiers with Bobby Knight was playing either Kentucky or North Carolina. They were the number one team in the country, and fans stormed the court. But also during that game, several fans got hurt. In fact, it was either a fan or cheerleader got paralyzed. Is it going to take somebody getting killed before we stop this nonsense? That's my ding-dong. Guys, y'all take care, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, Eric. Yeah, people have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, there were some different views.
Different angle, maybe.
That showed like maybe
someone
she did a little bit of flopping.
Drew the contact.
Yeah, I was like stunned when I saw the up-the-top view. I couldn't believe it. So I think that was a little sketchy. I'm just saying, but the view. If I hadn't seen the views, I forgot who tweeted it out.
I'm looking at it right now. At NBA Nation on Twitter had a
up the top view.
Top view. It actually came from.
She could have even avoided her in my mind.
And she kind of pushed her arms out.
Right.
It caused the fan to fall
down. The contact was more her than the fan.
Yeah.
What do you think?
From that angle, it looks like a flop.
Right, exactly, because all we saw was the side view at first, so that's all I had in my mind, and how she was limping and acting as though her players, like she was so deaf. I'm like, well, dang,
Now,
might
real
have
quick,
got hurt.
I will say, when I was at the Tennessee-Alabama game where they stormed the field, I was there right in front of Trey Burton, who did push.
Well, that is not even comparable.
Yeah.
That was totally malicious.
Yeah,
Totally-
those are two very completely different
totally
things.
different. Yeah, that was nowhere near the same. I'm not saying she was faking, but boy, when they showed that top view, I had a whole different perspective on what that really was.
I'll wrap up my ding dong here as we leave. All the people who are mad about Taylor Swift being on the camera at football games, they show something between the plays. It's not the end of the world. Here's the thing. Other people are now saying they think both Kelseys are going to retire, which was my called shot on Friday.
Ooh, I know.
So
Mickey.
you're going to stop seeing her anyway after all this. Just enjoy football.
Boy, people definitely have their opinions.
They are.
They better watch out. Them Swifties going to come get you.
I mean,
They'll
it's
come
just,
get you.
it's just smart business from the NFL to do that.
They
Yeah,
know
all day.
it's $1 billion plus. It's multi-billion-dollar industry. They know what they're doing.
It's smart business by Travis Kelce.
Yes, it
The
is.
dater.
It's our multi-billion-dollar business has to shut it down for the day, though.
But in the meantime,
In between time,
peace.